If your mind could only hold one thought at a time, what thought would you choose before the biggest athletic moment of your life? Welcome back to the Mental Weight Room, where we train your brain just like you train your body. I'm Antoinette Datoc, certified mental performance coach, and today we're exploring what might be one of the simplest mental performance principles you'll ever learn, but it's also one of the most powerful. It's called the law of occupied space. Now, before you think this sounds like something from a physics class, stay with me. This concept has huge implications for confidence, anxiety, performance under pressure, and even how you recover after mistakes. Because here's the truth. Your greatest opponent isn't always the athlete standing across from you. Sometimes it's whatever you allowed to occupy your brain. The law of occupied space is based on a simple idea. A space can only be occupied by one primary thing at a time. When we apply that to mental performance training, it means your conscious attention has limited bandwidth. Your brain is constantly taking in millions and millions of pieces of information every second, but your conscious mind can only actively focus on a very small amount at one time. Psychologists often refer to this as limited attentional capacity. In other words, your attention is like a flashlight. Wherever you point it becomes brighter. Everything else fades into the background. Now, that doesn't mean nervousness magically disappears. It doesn't mean fear no longer exists. What it does mean is that whatever you intentionally focus on becomes the loudest voice in your head. So why does this matter? Let's say you're standing on the free throw line, or you're in the batter's box. You're about to take a penalty kick. You're getting ready for your floor routine. Your brain has choices. It can focus on, don't miss, coach is watching. I messed this up last game. What if I choke? Or it can focus on deep breaths, smooth follow through, see the target, one pitch, relax. Notice something? Your body can only execute the information your brain is giving it. If your mental space is occupied by fear, fear is what drives your performance. If it's occupied by one execution intention, that's what drives your performance as well. Researchers studying attention have consistently found that human beings really aren't very good at multitasking. In reality, our brains don't focus on 2 or 3 things at once. They rapidly switch attention between tasks. Every switch costs time, energy, and mental efficiency. Athletes experience the same thing. When your attention jumps between, what if I fail? I hope coach isn't mad. I can't believe I made that mistake. Oh yeah, relax, reset. Your brain is constantly changing channels. That mental switching burns valuable energy. Elite performers don't necessarily have fewer distractions. They simply become better at returning their attention to what matters most. Here's an analogy. Imagine driving somewhere. If you spend the whole trip staring in the rearview mirror, how well are you going to drive? Not very well. Yet that's exactly what athletes do after mistakes. They spend their time looking in the rearview mirror by replaying what's already happened, the turnover, the strikeout, the missed tackle, the fall or misstep. Meanwhile, the next play is happening without them. Champions don't ignore mistakes. They simply refuse to let what happened in the past, whether it's a minute ago, a day ago, a week ago, or even longer, occupy today's attention. Now here's something interesting. Elite athletes rarely try to think about 20 different things. Instead, they develop 2 or 3 simple performance cues. A quarterback might think eyes, feet, throw. A golfer might think tempo, balance, finish. A volleyball player might use read, move, attack. Simple, actionable, controllable. These cues occupy their mental space before fear or doubt has the opportunity to move in. When I ask athletes what they're thinking about before competition, I often hear things like, I hope I don't embarrass myself, or I have to impress the scouts, I can't make another mistake, or I need to make this count, I don't get a lot of playing time, I need to score. Notice something? Almost all of those thoughts focus on outcomes. Outcomes are largely outside your direct control, but execution isn't. The best competitors fill their minds with controllable actions, not results. Here's something I'd love for you to try at your next practice. I call it the 3Q challenge. Before practice starts, choose just 3 words. They should describe actions completely under your control. For example, compete, communicate, finish, or maybe relax, attack, recover. Write them down. Look at them before practice. Then throughout practice, ask yourself, what's occupying my mind right now? If your attention drifts toward fear, doubt, comparison, past mistakes, or worrying about the scoreboard, simply replace it with one, two, or all three of your cue words. You're not pretending the negative thought never happened. You're just choosing not to let it take up space in your brain. Parents, one of the greatest gifts you can give your athlete is helping them focus on controllable behaviors instead of outcomes. Instead of asking, "Did you win?" Try asking, "What did you execute well today? What were you proud of? What did you learn?" And coaches, your athletes are constantly deciding what deserves their attention. The cues you repeat become the cues they repeat to themselves. Simple coaching language often creates clearer thinking under pressure. Finally, here's what I want you to remember. Your mind is valuable real estate. Every thought is asking for space. Some thoughts help you perform. Others quietly steal your confidence, your energy, and your focus. You don't always get to choose the first thought that pops into your brain, but you do get to choose which thoughts are allowed to stay. Protect that space. Fill it intentionally, because whatever occupies your attention will eventually influence your performance. And when you consistently train your attention, you're not just becoming a better athlete, you're becoming mentally stronger for every challenge that life throws your way. Thanks for tuning in today. If this episode helped you, I'd love for you to click like, drop me a comment, share it with a teammate, a coach, or a parent, and subscribe or follow me on social media so you never miss a mental workout, because mentally strong athletes don't happen by accident. They're built through intentional training, one thought and one habit at a time. This is Coach Antoinette signing off, and until next time, keep training your brain like you train your body and keep pushing your limits.